All right, y'all. So check this out. Got a little bit of a topic for you guys tonight. And shout out to my boy Prince for giving me the idea for this. And also, I'm gonna probably go live on Facebook and talk about this too, just for a little heads up. But anyway, I'm pretty sure at some point y'all have seen this on your Facebook or your Instagram news feed. Is your high school crush still sexy? Is your high school crush still fine? Are they still fine for all these years? You've seen something along the lines of that. But anyway, what I want to talk about is this. Would you ever give somebody a chance, or would you date somebody who rejected you back in the day? Basically, they ignored you in middle school, high school, college, or whatever, and now 5, 10 years later they catch up and now they want to give you a chance. Basically, let me go back to the great prophet Mike Jones and what he once said. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me. That's pretty much just how it is. That's just the way of the world. And it is kind of messed up how a lot of people don't really want you, or they don't really see you as relationship material until you come up. And just so y'all can get a better idea what I'm talking about, I'm gonna go a little more in depth with it. Fellas, y'all notice how a lot of the bad chicks back in the day, they didn't give you the time of day. You was pretty much not on their radar. You was invisible to them, especially when they was at their finest, slim waist, big titties, flat stomach, bow, round ass booty. But, they didn't give you time of day because they was too busy humping and sucking on Tyrone and Pookie and Ray Ray. They was too busy, giving them all the nasty, freaky porn star sex. They was giving them the gawk 5,000 blowjobs with extra spit and lube and doing all the splits and tricks and gymnastics and monkey double backflips on their ass. And yeah, now all of a sudden they want to give your ass a chance. Now that they done put on 50, 60 pounds, popped out 3 or 4 kids, all by different baby daddies, and been ran through by half the niggas in the hood. And fellas, ladies, it's the same shit with y'all. Y'all notice how Mr. Popular and the captain of the football team didn't give y'all a chance back in school? They didn't look at you when they had a full head of hair and a six pack. Now that they got a receding hairline and pot belly, now they want to give you a chance. And let me tell y'all, this shit happens to be pretty damn often now. Especially in the last 3 or 4 years or whatever. Like, I get inboxes from these chicks in middle school and high school, and it's like, Jay, I thought you were always cute. You were always sexy to me, and I always loved your personality. It's just that I was too shy to talk to you back then. Really, bitch? Really? Are you sure it's because you wasn't humping on Jamal and you was getting pounded and passed around by the football team? Get the hell out of my face with that bullshit. Now, another thing is, because I know I'm about to hear it from some of y'all. Oh my God, why are you so bitter? Some people change. People's taste and personalities change. Some people learn and they experience new things. I know, I get it. And like I said, y'all are actually right about that, because in that case, I will give y'all the benefit of the doubt. Some people, if you have the same taste in men and women as back in high school or college or 10 years ago as you do now, then that shows that you really haven't really matured. You can still have the same taste or whatever, because I'm gonna be 100% honest. There were some women back in the high school and college days who I didn't really look at like that, or I thought they were cute, but I didn't think they were smoking, drop dead gorgeous. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's bad as hell. I thought, oh, she was cute, she got a nice personality, but I didn't really look at her as sexy. Like, you notice how you can find somebody attractive but not be attracted to them. That's there's two different things. But I can kind of feel their pain, because I'm gonna be honest. Like, back in high school, whatever, I guess I would consider one of the nerds, the lames, or the cornballs, whatever. And I guess it's because one of the reasons why, even to this day, I still consider myself a little bit of a nerd or whatever, because I like comic books, superhero stuff, Marvel and DC and stuff, video games, anime, Dragon Ball Z, stuff along the lines of that. But I didn't really feel like that should have took me out of the running for finding somebody. But I guess the key is to find somebody who is like you, or who has similar interests to you. You don't want to find somebody who's exactly like you, because that'll kind of get weird if you got completely similar interests. And people's tastes really do change over the years, because you'll be looking at somebody now that you didn't really find attractive or whatever back then. You'll be like, wow, I really did not see them I really didn't look at them like that before. I guess, like, because I call this ugly duckling syndrome. Like, because you know how somebody might have been a nerd, they might have been fat, or they might have been ugly or not attractive, back in their childhood and teenage years, or maybe even early college, and then all of a sudden, a few years later, they come up into their own. They get better looking. They hit that growth spurt. They grow into their looks. That they get the grown man, a grown woman face, and then on top of them growing into their looks or coming up, then they still have that sweet, caring, and innocent personality that they had when they were younger. So that ends up being a deadly combination. That ends up being a two-for-one special when you were a sweetheart and you had a good personality and you grew into your good looks. But is it bitter or is it salty to curve somebody who curved you back in the day just to show them how it felt? Yeah, it kind of sort of is. But see, here's the thing. Like, would I give somebody a chance who rejected me back in the day? It would depend on why they rejected me. It would depend because a lot of people don't really want to discuss this either. I mean, because some people might reject you because they don't think that they're good enough for you. A lot of people want to wait for them to get their stuff together before they date somebody because they feel like it sometimes they don't feel like that you're out of their league. They feel like that they're out of yours or vice versa. So they want to make sure that they're the best person of themselves. They want to make sure they're the best person, the best version of themselves for you. They want to make sure that they're good enough for you. And that's something, if you reject somebody for that reason, that's something that I can respect, but some people will use that just as an excuse. But anyway, guys, what do y'all think? Have you got this in your inbox recently where somebody in your past wanted to hit you? Or would you just feel like they're using you as something to fall back on, like you're their second choice? Because let's face it, I don't care what nobody says. Unless you are really, really high status like that, you're never really anybody's first choice. You're always going to be somebody's second or third pick. But hey, look at the NFL draft and look at the NBA draft. Sometimes the second, third, and fourth round picks end up being the GOATs. Look at Tom Brady. He got drafted in the sixth round. He's considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But yeah, have you guys had anybody hit you up recently, wanting to date you, especially if they rejected you back in high school or if they didn't find you attractive or sexy? Anyway, y'all let me know. And once again, I will be going live to talk about this more in depth.